Hey, this is Steven from Legit PC, and today we're going to go over another PC build, PC parts build. So today we're going to go over what I think is the best all-around gaming PC. So this in total is going to be $1,000 gaming PC. This is all I would pretty much go for. It wasn't really $1,000 PC. It was a little bit over. It was like these are the parts that I would go with that would for the gamer that would want to play all different kinds of games. I'll have another one where it's just FPS games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, the competitive games, the main games, I guess you could say, rather than the side games. Okay, so we're gonna just go over this real quick. Like I said on the previous one, some of these could be interchangeable, as well as you could get it on Amazon. You don't have to get it necessarily on Newegg. I'm just doing Newegg for because it's a good store and I would highly recommend it. So this particular build is going to be a i5 4670K Haswell. We got 3.4 gigahertz and it is an 1150, which here matches our motherboard, as well as it's an Nvidia build, a 760, the new 7 series, 2 gigabyte, 256. So I know that the 760 Ti was just announced, but we could definitely play anything with this $260 rather than going with the Ti, which would probably be somewhere around where the previous one was, maybe 320, somewhere around there, or more. I don't know. The price hasn't been announced. So here we're doing a mid ATX. So this is around the price you'd pay for a gaming case. It doesn't have to be this Roswell, even though this case is pretty beautiful here. It's Roswell Blackhawk, but you don't have to necessarily get that. You can get whatever else. It's $10 instant, so whatever. All right, so we're gonna go over. Here we have a gigabyte motherboard. You don't necessarily have to get a gigabyte motherboard, but this one is pretty good colors, pretty good performance. Gigabyte's always been definitely the hard one to beat, and it's really durable. Next we have the 760, and this has the CUDA cores is 1152, and this has 256-bit interface, which the previous 660 and 660 Ti both had 256. Both had 128-bit interfaces. This one, you can get the 4 gigabyte one, but that's 300, and that I wouldn't even get that unless you're doing, multiple monitors, and you need that because most games now don't even use above 1 gig depending on what you're doing. Okay, so yeah, it's got the new cooler on it. It's supposed to be a lot better than this other cooler. I don't know if I would personally go for another 2-fan. I do have a 2-fan on this one, and even in this audio you could hear it's really loud just sitting there at the lowest percentage. But this here is clocked really high, so that's why I picked it. The core clocks and memory clocks are really high, as well as having the new DirectX, obviously, and we need a 500 watt or more power supply. So for this one, I just put a 650 gold, so it's going to be really power efficient. If it's sitting there and you just leave it there, it's definitely going to be really good for you, as well as the color pretty much matches it. Didn't really try to get it to match, it just kind of did. But yeah, definitely a good idea if it's still like $89 after $30 instant to get the gold certified. Definitely it brings down your power bill. And also this is a fully modular. You're going to have to see it there on the pull-up. See, it says, where is it at? Well, it doesn't really say, but it's fully modular. And here we have the 4670K, 1150, 84 watt quad-core processor. For games, you don't really need the i7. i7 is definitely not necessary. I would save your money. Like this one's the top-of-the-line i5. I would save your money and put it towards the graphics card. So if you want, you could even go down from the i5, go to like the lower grade, and get that 760 Ti when it comes out for 320 or whatever it is. And for the SSD for the whole thing, I have a 256. So you're looking at maybe 200 gigs after you load your operating system, and then 200 gigs of games, which is completely fine. I use one of these for my games, but it's separate from the operating system, so I have the full, whatever it is, 240 after you get it. I had the full 240 to put games on, which of course I used up really quickly because I review games. So this will definitely be perfect for anybody that's looking for something like that. If you're, you'll see on another build, I'll have it just for people that want to play the main games like Battlefield 4, Call of Duty, maybe some MMOs. I'll have that particular build later on and show you. It's just probably going to be a little derivative of this, just a little changed. And then here we just have some 8 gigs. Eventually you might want to move up to maybe a little more. This is a quad channel, so two dual channels. So I mean, I would probably just stay with 8 gigs, or you could get one that has 6 gigs per stick. You can go for that. But I'm doing it just for the price range. You don't really need it. Stuff in here is stuff that you would need and definitely benefit from. Yeah, so I mean, you could also go with a hard drive, but this is a gaming PC and you want those quick loading times and stuff like that. But I could have probably put it in a hard drive, pay just $100 or $80, like Caviar Black or Death Star, yeah. So I guess I'll probably just look up a hard drive that you can get for it right now, and we'll check that out. But otherwise, you can see that this is 1036, which is pretty good. I think it gets even lower if you put all this in, because it doesn't actually count the rebate or the instant. I don't think it doesn't count these instants, because when I had it in the shopping cart, it was like $984. So if you were gonna put in a hard drive into this type of build, let's say internal hard drive, let's say like a Caviar Black, right? So we're gonna do obviously 6, and so here you have a Caviar Black, 1 terabyte, 7200, $88. Definitely bring down the price. We'll go ahead and say that was in there, and then you took off that $200 and you added 100. You saved $120, and now it's a $800 build. Then that could play anything for a long time. So I don't. But for me, I would probably go with the SSD just because. I mean, and then eventually, you could quiet down your rig in order to hear better and have that better, more quiet gaming experience to get more into your games or whatever. But if you're gonna go for like an MMO, well, depending on an MMO, I would probably go with this Western Digital. In most cases, probably go with the Western Digital. So let's go ahead and add that in there. So we're gonna add that to cart. And then we're going to view shopping cart here. We're going to add this guy. Alright, so now, let's say you delete this guy. There you go. $959, probably going to be like $800. So this is probably what I would do. It depends on whether you want the SSD or not. That was an 8 SSD. You could rewind it, check out what exactly it is. But it was the $200 one, 256 gig. This is probably what I would go with. You're probably not going to see too much enhancement with the SSD, especially if you're not doing, video editing or anything like that. So this is what I would go with. So this is 760, 2 gig. Probably don't need the 4 gig for most games. 256 interface. We got a 650 watt. Not completely sure if you'll be able to do SLI with this, but you could even bump this down to a 500 watt and go just with this. But it needs at least a 500 watt, so I would bump up a little higher so you could put some more hard drives or whatever in there. I always stay. I'm running a 650 watt in mine right now. That's just usually the standard that you go with. So, just for the expansion, right? Just for the ability to have expansion. But I personally, for most games, I wouldn't SLI. This will basically run anything you want for a pretty low price. And then we have the Gigabyte here with like 2 or 3 slots of PCI Express 3.0, Western Digital, and then the exchangeable case here. So that's pretty much what I would run to play any type of game. This isn't just main games. This is for the games like Assassin's Creed or whatever, right? The extra games that are coming out soon. Thief, Batman, all that kind of stuff, as well as Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty and Titanfall coming up, and also in extra games like Watch Dogs. So this is for all that kind of stuff. A little bit more load times because of the hard drive, but it should work pretty good, especially if you save 120 bucks and you're just into the gaming. You're not doing like I'm doing and reviewing or whatever. This is what I would go with. Okay, so this is the $1,000 gaming PC to play any game. This is Steven from Legit PC, and I would like to thank you for watching my video. If you like my videos, please subscribe for other videos like it, and stay tuned for the next build, and see if that one's for you. Thanks for watching.